Hi, everybody. It's Grasshopper here. It's Saturday, May 13th, 2023. I just want to do a quick talk. Standard's been in the news this week because Wizards of the Coast has announced that they're going to extend rotation. So it's going to be like 3 years, I think, instead of 2. They're trying to fix Standard. And anyway, I want to talk about that. Talk about Standard a little bit today. Let's see. So this goes back. I mean, it goes back further than this. But on November 8th, 2022, I saw this tweet from Aaron Forsyth. He's I'm not exactly sure what he is. One of the designers, one of the head designers. He's been there a long time. He's been with the company for a long time. I've seen him talk here and there over the years. But anyway, he says, over the past few years, Standard play has dried up in many stores. And Aaron Forsyth says he has his own list of possible reasons, but he'd like to hear from us, the community. And why has sanctioned Standard play declined relative to other formats in your store? And I replied, I don't really remember. It was a while back. I don't really remember what I said, but I imagine I was respectful. But I probably, I'm not really sure. Maybe I probably said arena. I'm sure that was in there somewhere. So so this has been in the works. And you might be thinking like, what prompted this? Well, if you go to 2021. Let's do that real quick. Let's see. Let's switch over here to TCG Player. You look at the collector box prices. Okay, so for 2021, we had Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Make sure my head's not in the way. Hold on one second. Yeah, I'm good. So I had Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, and Midnight Hunt, and Crimson Vow. And those are, look at the price on the there's just the value's just not there. They're all like in the about $140 range. So 2021 was a rough year as far as for them to sell product for that came from a standard set, standard legal set. Because in 2021 we had Modern Horizons, and that was a hit, of course. And it had fetch lands in it, so how could it not be, right? So that was probably, I think that was the only set that did like really well. Strixhaven, it had a bonus sheet on Strixhaven, so you can see it's 245, and that's mostly the bonus sheet in that set, doing the heavy lifting. As far as the actual cards in the set go, not super great, probably. The best card was Expressive Iteration, probably, and it's an uncommon, and it costs like $2 or something, which is it's not a chase card. It is a chase card, and it's uncommon, but with uncommon, it's not that rare. It's not very rare, so it's not much of a chase. Last year was good. I think 2022 was Wizards of the Coast was improving things, and that's when we first got serialized cards in Brothers War. So they were starting to figure out things like, okay, we got to do something more to get people on board, or get people buying the product, I guess. But there's definitely some bad ones, like in last year, 2022. New Capenna was probably the worst standard set, I guess, from last year. I don't know why it's bad. I honestly don't know. I know Draft wasn't super. I didn't like Draft too much with the 3-color. I didn't like it personally, and I've heard other people say that it wasn't super. Wasn't that much fun. There wasn't many modern cards or modern playable cards, I guess, from Streets of New Capenna. As opposed to like Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, so maybe that's why it didn't do as well. It had the tri-lands, which are the tri-lands are great. I'm not sure. Maybe the theme was kind of unpopular. I thought it was okay. I think it could have been done better. Let's just put it that way. I liked it. I thought the theme was okay. I was okay with the mafia thing, and I'm not even that big into mafia stuff. I didn't watch the Sopranos or anything like that. I don't even know if I've seen The Godfather. But I thought, oh, that's kind of neat. It's all right because kind of reminded me of Hearthstone because Hearthstone had some mafia theme. But anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent here. So, but you can see the collector box prices of standard sets are just have really tanked back hard, and so yeah, the standard has problems. And then I want to point to one other thing. Well, hold off 1 second. So let me get off the screen. It's so white. It's like blinding my eyes. So, so they're going to extend rotation. I'm not sure what this is going to do as far as making standard viable or a format that people want to play. I don't think it's going to do much. I think the problem is standard's competing with Arena standard, which is free to play. Okay, now we're getting into this. What in the world I was going to talk to you? But anyway, so Standard Arena is free to play, and paper it costs a lot, and it yeah. So let me look at the prices here. So here we have like a recent tournament, and you can see the top decks costs in the meta, which is Rakdos Midrange, which is at least a $400 deck. And that's the price of some decks in the Pioneer format. So, and that's a lot. I mean, that's expensive if you ask me because Standard's supposed to be supposedly the format for new players, the on-ramp to get into Magic, competitive Magic. And when it costs like $400, that's a lot to ask, especially for like young people. Some who don't have, like, especially kids, who probably don't have a job, and have to ask their parents for that money. Are their parents going to shell out $400 so their kid can have a standard deck? And there's no guarantee that deck's going to be viable or competitive for the full 3 years. And that's something that's not discussed enough. It's like you buy a standard deck, it doesn't mean it's going to last. Especially with the way they crank up power levels, which I'm not opposed to cranking power level up because I play Modern, and I'm like bring it, It's like because it's kind of hard to break Modern and Standard. Typically, Standard players, most of the Standard players I know, they like it that it's slower. Personally, I don't care if you want to crank the power up. Wizards on Standard, go for it, in my opinion. I don't care. I really don't. And if something breaks into Modern, it goes in, it's so strong, like it makes its way into Modern, okay. Well, and if it breaks Modern, okay, maybe ban it, but that's probably an unlikely scenario. If it's broken in Modern, I was going to say something. I was going to say it'd be broken in Standard, but that may not be the case. But anyway, at any rate, where was I going with this? Okay, so if the power level's increased, okay, I know where I was going with that. So if they increase the power level of Standard, then it's like, and these cards see play in Modern, one problem is it could make the cards more expensive. But the good thing about the cards being playable in Modern would be they wouldn't lose their value as much when rotation happened. That's just one thing. Because I don't understand. A $400 deck. What's the value of those cards going to be after rotation? It's probably going to fall. I talked to Aaron Forsyth about this a little bit, and he mentioned Elish Norn being playable in Modern, and yeah, kind of. It's a 4 mana cost creature in white. White's probably not the best color in Modern. I don't know, and I haven't seen Elish Norn really take off in Modern, so he's kind of he kind of annoyed me with that. It's like, and then it was like one card. It's like, okay, so this one card's playable in Modern, so you say, but is it really? Here we are a few months after Phyrexia all will be won, and it barely sees play in Modern. Yeah, I mean, because 4 mana is kind of a lot in Modern, kind of getting up there. 3 mana is kind of a lot in Modern, if you ask me. I mean, if it's 3 mana, it better do something in Modern. That's all there is to it. Yeah, so yeah, the cards aren't necessarily playable in Modern. So when rotation happens in Standard, the value just collapses somewhat. Unless it sees play in Pioneer, which that's definitely possible. So anyway, you can see the deck prices are high. They cost almost as much as the Pioneer decks, and that's just that's a problem because you got Arena where you can play what's free to play, and so the solution to me would be, and people wouldn't like this, but I'd say, well, don't make Arena free to play. Just get rid of that. Make it to where you you have to buy packs or buy a subscription. I don't know what the solution is, but don't let it be free to play. That'll turn some people off. They won't play as Arena, so you might lose money on Arena. I don't know what to say though. I mean, it's either that or shut it down. Maybe. It's hard because I know Arena's popular, but they want Paper Standard to live and be a format that people actually want to play. Well, you have to do something to change things. Of course, I mean, we know that's obvious, but Wizards seems to not understand. I don't know. They want their cake and eat it too. And it's like, well, that's not how things work, right? You don't get your cake and eat it too. It's like you can make get rid of free to play in Arena, lose some Arena players and lose some revenue potentially, because free to play people, they might spend money on cosmetics, maybe some don't though, so maybe you won't lose revenue. I'm not sure how that works. Okay, so I mean, I'm not sure what the numbers are and everything, like how many free to play players actually spend some money on the game each year. I'm not certain what that percentage is. So maybe by not making it free to play, maybe that's a solution. Make it charge for it, and maybe make it to where you can trade cards, so that would offset the cost for people. They could trade the cards they don't want, and for kind of like Magic the Gathering Online, the old digital version of the game. It allowed you to spend money and trade cards, so it has its own little economy there, and some people like that. I mean, I've used it. I'm fine with that. I kind of like it better in a way because you can just buy the deck you want. You can be like, you just you want a certain deck, you just buy the cards for that deck. You don't have to open packs and hope you get the cards you want. So that's a good. I like it. It's more straightforward, I guess. And then you can trade off cards you're not playing with anymore if and get money back. So there's that. They could maybe do that. Some people want that. I know some people have wanted that, actually. They want it to be like Magic's Gathering Online. Anyway, so standard rotation. A lot of people are panicking. They're like, oh no, it means Fable of the Mirror Breaker is going to be in standard longer, or I can't remember. Invoke Despair, I think, is a card that people hate right now, and Shieldred maybe. Black's real strong, I've heard, and it'll keep being strong now. But they also said that they'll probably be more aggressive with bans, and a lot of people are leaving that out of the narrative. And it's like they said they're going to be more aggressive with bans. That's what I heard anyway. So if they're more aggressive with bans, then it may not be a problem. No, I'm not. No, okay. I know how Wizards is, and a lot of people do, and I can understand their fear because Wizards will say one thing and they won't do it. You know, they won't do anything, and they won't ban as much as they should. And it's yeah, they may think they're banning enough, and then but the players, the fans of Standard may not think so. It's gonna be tricky territory. We'll see. I don't think Standard's going to get fixed, though. I mean, it's not going to get fixed overnight. Just from extending rotation isn't going to just fix it. I think it's kind of a big nothing burger. I mean, they announced this, and I don't know what they expected, how they expected the community to react, but I think it's pretty much everybody's kind of underwhelmed, really, because it's not gonna change things. Like me, I play Modern. Well, I'm not going to spend $400 on a Standard deck, and the Pro Tour is not like what it used to be before 2020, when we had Channel Fireball and Star City Games doing events and tournaments, and it's just all kind of dried up. And that with Arena and everything going on, yeah, Standard's kind of dead, and so yeah, I'm not going to be spending money on a Standard deck. I'm happy playing Modern. I mean, I'm totally fine with it. Yeah, there's no reason for me to play. I think my local game store actually fired a Standard event on a Friday night. I don't think they had that many people, but they still fired it because they wanted to play Standard. And I was shocked that we even had enough people. I mean, that they even had enough people to play Standard. So, I feel bad for the people. Honestly, I feel bad for them, because it's like, you got a format you want to play and you can't play it. That's frustrating for sure. Which is also another problem with Magic right now that they don't talk about enough. It's like there's too many formats. There's way too much. Pioneer was a mistake. I think that was a mistake. They should not have made Pioneer, because a lot of people who would play Standard are just buying in the Pioneer instead, and they're pushing Pioneer with the regional qualifiers and things like that. They're using Pioneer right now. Right now they're doing Pioneer. They change it up, but right now it's Pioneer, so it's obviously relevant if you want to grind some tournaments. So yeah, Pioneer was a mistake. And Arena being free to play maybe was a mistake if you want to keep Standard alive. If you don't care about Standard, who cares about Arena being free to play? So I say crank the power up. That's me. I'm saying, go back to fire design, just ban aggressively and crank that power up, boy. Just get it going. Maybe it'll shake up Modern a little bit, which that'll make some people ruffle some people's feathers. May upset me a little bit too. I may eat my own words, but Standard sets won't be boring. I mean, could be interesting. Because Crimson Vow, there was a card near, it was called Welcoming Vampire, and that was a pretty decent card. I thought it felt close to being Modern playable, but it needed like Ward 2 or something. So I don't understand why they made those cards. I guess to be balanced or more fair and Standard, so they made them kind of weak. And it's like, you can't do that with Modern's. I mean, at least with creature decks or tribal, it's going to have to be the creature's going to have to be stronger than that to make their way into Modern. Otherwise, it would have been like I would have wanted to brew with it, because I like that card. Welcoming, I like the art on it. I just liked it, but not playable in my favorite format because it's just too weak. I mean, Welcoming Vampire should add Ward 2. And they do things like this all the time. It's it's like a slow burn. They're just slowly burning you. It's like just selling a bunch of junk until one day they finally decide that people aren't buying these sets and the creatures are too weak probably. Oh, you think? Yeah, maybe. I mean, in Modern we got Fury, Plague Engineer, Solitude, what else? Blast Zone, and I mean, there's so many board wipes and ways to destroy creatures in Modern. It's just unreal. I mean, there's so much. But Fury and Plague Engineer, those are two big ones. Fury just, oh yeah, Rune 6. That's the other one I was thinking about, because a lot of creatures have 1 toughness, and it's like Rune 6 just kills them. Yeah, so I mean, creature decks are really not doing well in Modern right now. I think they're okay in Pioneer, but they're maybe. I mean, but they're anyway. Let's not digress. Yeah, so Standard's not going to be fixed. This is nothing. So this feels like too late to me. It's like this announcement is like too little, too late. Like they should announce this in 2021, right? And then they should have been doing more stuff last year to get Standard going. Then maybe this year people will be playing Standard. I mean, I don't know what they're thinking sometimes. I guess they're just going to lean on Commander. That hasn't worked out, apparently. I mean, because your standard sets are the collector boxes for standard sets have tanked because you leaned on Commander. Thought Commander was going to prop up your cells, I guess. Well, it didn't. I mean, so I mean, I just gotta laugh about it because I just like who I just don't understand them sometimes. I'm like, who is running this company? Oh goodness, what is going on? It's like, do they not just step back for a minute and be like, okay, this isn't working. What do we need to do? Yeah, they do, but then they don't seem to do anything. You get an announcement like we're going to extend Standard, and it's like, and I get that and I understand that like they want to ease into things and do measures, but like I said, it's too little, too late. They should have done this in 2021. Should have been ramping Standard up. Be like, okay. We've driven people to Commander, but we probably need some of them to come back to Standard so that our Standard sets sell. Okay, well, what can we do to get Standard back? Now, one other solution I wanted to talk about. Now, I'm sure a lot of people will hate me for this and not like it, but I think make Standard Singleton. Then you only need 1 copy of a card for your deck. So cost might come down. I mean, 1 Shieldred's like $60, so it's better than having to buy 4 of them and spend $240. So if it was Singleton, yeah, that could bring the price down for Standard. Now the problem will be that decks won't be as consistent. Personally, I think that makes it more fun. Because it can be frustrating, though, because you're trying to grind a tournament and win. Because your deck's not going to play the same way every time. But they can also go to restricted instead of banning, which I like that. Like, you can only have 1 Shieldred in your deck, and they just pick 1 card and say, like, you can only have 1 Shieldred in your deck. I like the idea of restricted. I know some other people do. I don't know why Wizards hates restricted so much. Especially when decks are on Arena now for Standard, so players can't cheat and put 2 copies in their deck. So, and you can do deck. You have judges do deck checks at tournaments. I mean, I don't know why it's hard, but yeah, do restricted, and then I would another good benefit would be it would not collapse the price on the card too much at one time. So for collectors, maybe, or people who want to get their money back, makes it less. You lose less value as quickly, maybe. Anyway, I probably shouldn't get into that. It's probably insignificant, but as far as that, the investing side of the game, or money side of the game, but having restricted and standard, that might be a good idea. Because Singleton, as soon as I said it and I was talking it out, it makes me think. I got thinking, yeah, your decks won't be as consistent. People probably won't like that. But if it's restricted, like you can have 1 Shieldred in your deck, but the rest of the deck already has you got 4 copies of other cards that support whatever your deck type is. Then that's probably okay. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So I would say in closing, the cost of standard decks needs to come down. What else should I say? The format has to be fun. That's important too. What's fun? That's a hard one though. It's very subjective because what's fun, that's difficult, and people are real fickle. And like they might like a deck for 3 months and they get tired of it. Someone might want to play quick games. Another person might like grindy games. But fun is important. Just saying. But what makes it fun or what decks are enjoyed, that's up for debate. I mean, Magic players will debate that all day, what they like and don't like, and whose deck style is better. There's no one answer. Yeah, but being fun is important. Low cost for paper, standard. Maybe get rid of Pioneer. Too many formats supported. Maybe get rid of Modern. I really hate to say that because I like Modern, but it does keep me from playing Standard and other formats because I'm not going to play them because I'm going to play Modern. It would make a lot of people mad. And Modern's been around. I kind of feel like getting rid of Modern would be a bad idea because it's been around longer than some of the other formats that have been created. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up. Thanks for listening, and talk to y'all later.